seen the title, this video is going to be on mindset of an elite athlete or just an athlete in general. Things that me and Rondell both think about going into a training cycle, training block. Oh yeah, and yes, this is my refrigerator. I'm sorry, but trying to make this video real fast. Yeah, hopefully you guys like this type of style of video. I can do this with other people, other lifters, different sports, who knows, whoever I come in contact with. I don't know, let me know. Just leave a comment and I'll read them. But V4 of our intermediate program drops February 25th. You guys, if you want this program, go in the description box, click the link to the V4 preview. You can watch the video and leave your email. If you leave your email, you can get a discount code for, I don't know what it is, I forgot. Don't quote me on this. You get a discount code though. And when the program drops to 25th, you guys can get percentage off. So do it now if you want this. It's the best one-time buy program out there. No matter if you're doing sumo, conventional, high bar, low bar, wide grip, close grip, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're an elite lifter, advanced, well, elite and advanced are the same thing. Elite, beginner, and intermediate, it doesn't matter. You can run this program. It's RPE based as well as percentage based. So you guys will get a lot out of it. If you want to buy it, also it's going to have some little goodies in there. I might release those on YouTube later, but for now they're just going to be on the program exclusive. So yeah, go and check it out. Hopefully you guys like it. February 25th, I don't know the time, maybe like 11, 12-ish in the afternoon, if you guys want to purchase and support. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video. Yeah. What's going on, guys? It's me again here with Rondell. Well, you know my name. I don't know. Rondell's my coach and I'm an athlete, so we're also business partners. But we're gonna go over a couple questions that get commonly asked, and I guess my approach and as well as his approach to training. So we're gonna go through that here.
Yeah, for sure. So basically what we want to do is give you guys an insight into like how, high level athletes go about their training, not just like what they actually do in terms of like, okay, you do a 1x5 or stuff like that, but actually like the mindset towards it, because that actually plays like a pretty big role.
Exactly.
So the first question, Jamal, like when you get a training program from like Sanjeev and I, what is like the first thing that goes through your mind? What do you look at and what do you like start to think?
So first I'll look at like the exercises that I have to, I guess, complete. Yeah. Then I have to look at the rest days and everything, seeing how I'm structuring my week and my diet around that. Yeah. But also like when I'm looking at the numbers and the rep schemes, I'm trying to see where I am right now. Like I know where I am like after like my last training block or last deload. Yeah. But I also have to game plan on where I'm trying to get to. Like I just got my training program like 2 days ago. Yeah. And it's like I know where I started at and I know where I want to finish. So it's like now I just have to do the things in between to get there. Yeah.
So that's actually huge, because like a lot of guys don't even look ahead rather than like week one. So it's like, for example, yesterday when you were pulling like a conventional single, we were already planning on like, okay, what could you possibly finish up with? And then based on like where we started and what, we want to finish up with, and obviously what we want to finish up with is like something realistic, right? Yeah. We obviously plan the weeks in between that, right? So that's a pretty big thing. Is not just like going strictly based off of, oh yeah, this is like RP this and being kind of like brainless week to week.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, yes, it's I always have like a top set RPE. Yeah. But it's more so like I know I'm capable of a lot more, but I still don't want to have to push it too much. So like I said, there's stepping stones to training. So it's like you have to take certain steps to get to the final destination. So like conventional deadlift, for instance. Like yesterday, I thought I was going to do anywhere between 771 to 815. Yeah. I knew I had that in the bag regardless of what RPE it was. It was after an SPD day. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I start here, I know where I can finish at. I can see 905, maybe 925 at the top end, and that's if everything goes as planned. That's bearing that my diet is on point, sleep, stress levels, sleep, and everything is like dialed in.
Yeah.
925 could be a top, but I also have a low for that last week, which is like 881.
Yeah. So one question I wanted to ask you then, there's actually like a common question that I get, is how do you like define ranges? Because obviously you don't want to just go in with one number in mind, but you want to like get like a range of numbers that you could possibly hit. Is it based on like previous training, or is it just based on like what you kind of want, or what was it based on?
It's more so based on like me. I know myself more than anyone else know myself. Like, yes, you're my coach.
Yeah.
But I still know me more than you know me. Like, I know what I'm going through mentally, physically, emotionally, all that stuff. And all that stuff plays a role into your training.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, I always like, regardless of how I feel, I know I have certain numbers that I can do no matter what. Like, I can say, for instance, like, if you program a heavy squat single tomorrow, I know I can go in the gym and squat 705.
Yeah.
I know I can go in the gym and bench 470. I know I can go in the gym and deadlift 850-ish.
Yeah.
Like, those are numbers I know I have in the back regardless. But that's like if I'm pushing it with no taper, no proper training, no nothing, I know I have certain numbers. But when I think about the stepping stones, I know I have to start somewhere and work my way up, because yes, you might have a top set, but you also have the back down work, you have the accessory work you have to do, you have to factor in. If I'm doing conventional deadlift, I got a low bar squat, I got a high bar squat, I got a bench 3 times a week, and it's like a lot of stuff plays a role into like, oh, let's say like I travel next month, then like I have to plug that into the equation as well. So it's like, for me, like I have to kind of, like, I look at the big picture all the time. So like I'm always looking at the, like, everything else. I don't know how to explain. It's a lot.
Yeah. No.
I think about it a lot.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool though, and I understand exactly what you mean. Like, every small thing plays a role. So it's like, if you just baseline and obviously you're chilling at home, you're eating well, you're sleeping well, everything like that, it's like you know what you can expect.
Yeah.
And then like everything that might happen outside of that, sort of like, plays like a small role. So one thing, we had gotten a ton of comments about this, and guys on the team actually asked about it. Is like, I want to talk about like when to PR and when to push training, because I know in basically the entire month of December, every deadlift session that you had was like even balls to the wall. Yeah.
I mean, well, it wasn't December. It was like the month before that. It was like before the last training.
Oh yeah. So it's like kind of November into the start of December.
Yeah. So with that being said, like I couldn't squat. So I knew my recovery was going to be more geared toward only like getting stressed out and fatigued by deadlifts and accessories. So with that being said, it's like I know if I had squats, I wouldn't be able to push it the way I was, which I didn't. I kind of stayed in the pocket. But when I know I don't have squats in the picture, I can just push it. Like I know I can recover much better because I don't have to squat the next day, or I don't have to squat the same day of. And I'm not going to have to squat for a couple of days. And it wasn't heavy at all. So I'm like, but like, say you're in, I guess, I don't know how to explain mesocycling, all this and that. It's too much to talk about right now. But so like, say you're at the beginning of a training block and you're feeling amazing coming off an off season or whatever, you're 12 weeks out. Well, I'd say between that 10 to 8 weeks out. And you can push training then because it's not going to really affect you too much. Yeah. But if you're winding down and you're 4 weeks out, you want to stay in the pocket so that way that fatigue that you get from missing a lift, or if you're going to make that lift, it's going to carry over into your next training sessions. And you don't want that to happen because you want to be at your peak
at the meet.
Yeah. Like that's the goal, is to get to the meet healthy, and that's your strongest. Yeah. So doing that like within like 4 or 5 weeks out is going to be detrimental to the end goal, which is the meet. So, but like that middle 4 weeks, like that 5 to 8 weeks, you can maybe push it. it depends on the lift. Like I recover well from deadlifts. Like since my sumo is so efficient, it doesn't fatigue me as much.
Yeah.
But I can't do that same push on squats because I know my technique isn't just. I have to use a lot of muscle to actually move squats, so I can't push it on that lift. And bench is bench, so I don't really care for bench.
Yeah. So one thing, like I want to talk about, like how important do you feel like technique is in just like I guess overall recovery, overall like pushing progress, stuff like that? Because I feel like a lot of guys think that I guess programming is one of like the major keys, but like technique is kind of like overlooked. So a lot of guys would hit like huge volume PRs and they would push like, oh yes, a 5x5 PR, like a 4x3 or something like that, but then they have trouble translating it over to a 1 rep max. So like how important do you think like technique is in that, and then just overall recovery as well?
So even just, I wouldn't even say just technique. I'll say there's a multitude of PRs you can hit in training every session.
Yeah.
It's from your mental aspect to how you feel going into a lift. So say I can hit the same weight for 10 weeks every session, but that weight won't always feel the same every session.
Yeah.
So there's going to be like I said, life stressors. There's going to be emotional stressors. There's going to be training stressors. Just different stressors in that aspect, but also your mental approach. So like say this week I hit 315 on bench for the first time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you hit 315 on bench for the first time. Now you have a mental PR like, oh, I can hit 315. Now I go to my next session and I try 315 again. It's like that's the like how you explain it? Like it's like okay, it just wasn't a one-time PR. Like I can do this again.
Yeah.
Now it's like oh, I can do it again, do it again, do it again. So the more you get used to a weight, the more it becomes like it's easy to do now.
Yeah.
So that approach, like I said, there's a lot of PRs you can hit in training. Numbers isn't always the main objective.
Yeah.
So like then like when you factor in technique, like say you hit the technique PR, like you become more efficient.
Yeah.
The easier the weight gets.
Yeah.
Like his squat is so technically efficient. Like his 705 flew yesterday.
Yeah.
So me thinking I'm gonna push him to like okay like squat 804.
Yeah.
But he knows his body more than I know. I mean like no, I'll just play it safe. Like I may be feeling good. It may looks good, but in reality it's maybe not be that good. Like, like me deadlifting like 900 pounds. It may look fast to all you guys, but to me it feels totally different.
Yeah.
Like I know how 900 pounds feel when it's light and when it's heavy.
Yeah.
So, but looks aren't always like I guess the main thing. But I'm so technically efficient that it doesn't fatigue me that much. But I'm not explaining. It's a lot.
Yeah. So what? So okay, this is actually a very difficult question. I don't even know how I would answer it. But let's say, for example, someone is like warming up to a top set, right?
Yeah.
As you say, for me, the 705 was fast. For you, 900 would more than likely always look fast to somebody else, right? How do you like? How would you describe that like small difference that you feel when you know like okay, although that was fast, I just don't have it, because that's exactly how I felt with the 771 and the 804. It's like although it was fast, you just like and I think some people don't understand that. So how would you describe that?
So from like say for instance I'm squatting, right? Like the initial approach, like my mindset going into that lift, like sometimes like when you know you got it. Sometimes when you're like kind of skeptical, that can play a role into how you perform the lift. So it's like you before you did the 771, like I don't know, like I don't know, like I might got it, I might not. It's gonna be a grinder, but I'm gonna try it anyway.
Yeah.
So when like or he could like when he hit that 705, like he knew regardless, like that was flying up. Like he knew he had that in the bag. But it's more so like from the walkout to your mindset when you walk into the bar to how you feel before you even go down into the hole. Like a lot of stuff plays a role into like I forgot the question.
No, like how would you know with like a warm up? How could you tell the difference of when you're on and when you're not really on, even though it moves fast both times?
technique. I mean, if anything, like something feels off, like you know it. Like like your mind's gonna tell you like, oh, something's wrong. Like,
so you think that's just something that guys would develop over time?
Yeah, you just learn your body, like doing certain warm-ups, like doing the same warm-up routine all the time. Like my last warm-up on deadlift is always like 8:15 if I'm going for like some type of top set. Like based on how 8:15 moves depends on how I proceed from that lift.
Yeah, that's why I said that was a difficult question, because I didn't know how I would answer that. But I guess when you do the same thing like enough times, eventually you start to like pick up on small differences and like, okay, this was good, but I remember that time when it was great and this wasn't that, you know. So and the last thing basically here is, I guess, managing injuries and training. Like, obviously everybody gets injured. It's like it's part of the game regardless of how your recovery is. How do you, obviously it's different from injury to injury, but like, what's your mindset with injuries and how do you usually go about it?
Some injuries I push through, some I just I totally avoid. Like, say like yesterday we were squatting, right? Like I'm coming back from a groin / adductor injury. I hit my top set. I hit my first back down set, and I was going to do my other back down sets, but I'm like, something feels off. Like, I'm not there. Like, I'm not like focused in on this set. So let me not just go through the motion. That's how I got injured in the first place. So like, if you know you're not focused on like a certain, I guess, set or whatever, then it's okay to back off and do something lighter that you know you have in the bag regardless. But it's like you have to know when to push and let off the pedal. Sometimes like you can't always be pushing. Like, yes, you might have a 5x5 at a certain weight, but know when to auto-regulate. It's okay to back off and wait. Like, no one's going to judge you. As long as you're still getting some type of work in, as long as you're still, like, I guess, refining your technique, you're good. Like, you like I said, you can always PR in something. Like, you can do 600-pound squat and your back off to be 315 pounds. You can still get better. Like, it's not like you can't get better. Like, it's like, but be safe. Like, if when in doubt, back off. When you don't know, back off. When you feel an injury coming, back off. Like, if your chest is hurting when you're benching, back off. If your back is hurting while you're deadlifting, figure out like, if your mobility is off or something is off. Do something, go back and re-warm up, get on the bike, do another mobility routine, then go back to the bar, and if you still feel off, call it. There's no point in pushing through an injury if you don't have to.
What was your mindset when, how long did you take off of squats completely?
Maybe 10, 12-ish weeks.
Yeah, that's crazy. So obviously you could have done that, like, you know, no problem. I that's something I've done before, obviously. But was your mindset with that, like, because I have guys who, like, for example, like Coach or message me or whatever, and these guys are like anywhere between 16 to like 20 years old, and anytime they have to take any time off of any lift, they just like, they almost feel like, oh no, I'm not making progress, and not like thing. Like, how do you mentally deal with like having to take time off to deal with a particular injury? Because sometimes it can't be avoided, you know?
Yeah, I mean, when I have to take time off, like me, like I tore my ACL in high school. Like, I had to take 6 months off. I couldn't run, I couldn't cut, I couldn't do anything. Like, I've been through that before. Like, now dealing with powerlifting, like, yes, like I hurt my adductor, but it's like, it's not the end of the road. Like, I can still powerlift. As long as I do the things necessary to get back healthy, when I get back in the bar, I'm gonna be that much better. Like, it's not like only reason why, like, I already signed up for the meet before my last meet, so I'm like, I'm gonna do it regardless. I didn't know my injury was gonna take that long to heal, but just played the waiting game, and I still was able to almost I matched my PR in training. I just didn't match my PR in the meet, but like, even that, like, I still probably could have matched my PR in the meet. It's just about being true to yourself, knowing, like, and controlling the variables, controlling what you can control. At the end of the day, is like, yes, you might not be healthy to squat, but you control like next go around. Like I'm gonna be that much more adamant about my technique and my approach and getting yourself and I guess focused on other lifts. Like like I found a lot about like deadlifts. Like I can push deadlifts and be good. Like I was deadlifting over 900 pounds weekly, missing lifts, and I wasn't fatigued whatsoever.
Over 950 actually.
Yeah, and it was crazy. I was pulling 1,000 twice a session. Like I didn't care, and I was still able to recover. But and you guys don't do that. Don't do that.
I don't think they can pull 1,000 twice a session. Yeah.
But it's just more so like learning yourself than like when you get back to training for real.
Yeah.
Just take what you learn from your time off by fixing your bench technique. Like you can still bench if your squat is off.
Yeah.
You can still bench if you hurt your legs squatting or deadlifting or something.
Yeah.
Like there's something you can still do to get better and fix that lift, whatever it is that you messed up on. Like say you I guess hurt a pec benching.
Yeah.
You can still do tricep work.
Yeah.
You can still do back stuff. It's not like you can't do anything. Like you're not I guess what's immobile or paralyzed. You still are able to get better.
Yeah. That's what a lot of guys like fail to realize too. But I think that's a really great note to end off the video on. Obviously we don't want to make it too long. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything you want to say to wrap it up.
Not really. Just stay true to the program, man, and just control what you can control at the end of the day. It's like a lot of stuff's gonna be out of your control, but the things that you are in control of, control those. At the end of the day, it's like no one is going to control your own variables.
Yeah,
those are up to you.
And I think it's important too to like mentally play the long game. Like, yeah, you might have to take X amount of time off. We might have to do this.
But there's gonna be a ton of more meets, a ton of more training sessions. It's not the end of the road.
For sure. You know. So that's a good note to end off the video, guys. So take care.
Peace.